We're gearing up for our zipline adventure. Harness, helmet, gloves, and pulley. The SkyTrek adventure in Arenal National Park is the longest zipline in Costa Rica, measuring more than 4,000 feet and including 6 separate segments. We have been looking forward to this for many months, and the excitement level is really high. We never got to see the Arenal volcano due to continuous cloud cover. To get to the top of the zip line, we take a picturesque gondola ride through dense tropical cloud forest.
Bend your knees. Lean back, lean back, lean back, lean back!
Llega, Julieta, doble,
Once you start down the zip line, all fear goes away, leaving you with an exhilarating ride over the lush cloud forest of Arenal National Park. What a treat!
She made it. Yeah.
Jimmy, our guide, took video of our first descent, but they would not allow us to take a camera down the zip line, preferring to sell us the photos they take. But Duncan has a hidden camera built into these very cool sunglasses. After spending a night in San Jose, we drove to Arenal National Park to see the La Paz waterfalls, bask in the natural hot springs, and of course, experience the zip line. Next, we drove down to the Pacific coast for swimming, exciting sloth viewing, and serious hiking. But the best part of the trip was sharing these precious experiences with Rachel and the 6 West Coast grandkids. What fun! One of the highlights of the trip was our bus, roomy and comfortable during the long rides between destinations.
How are you?
Another was Jimmy, our guide, who became part of our family and infused us with his enthusiasm for his country and its natural environment. The first stop on our way to Arenal is La Paz Waterfalls, high in the rainforest just outside of San Jose at an altitude of 5,000 feet. The La Paz River, which means River of Peace, defines 5 separate waterfalls, connected by picturesque hiking trails. There is also a wildlife sanctuary here as well, but we'll include that footage when we get to the wildlife section of the video. After a hearty lunch, we drove to Arenal National Park, but before checking into our lodge, we stopped off at Encotamales Hot Springs, a family-run hot springs resort featuring 4 volcanically heated pools, ranging from 91 to 105 degrees. It's good to relax in this natural hot tub after a long bus ride. We stayed until it got dark, but showers and changing rooms allowed us to freshen up before dinner at a delicious local outdoor restaurant. We're on the Peñas Blancas River, lazily rafting downstream looking for wildlife. We see a few monkeys and birds, but the real treat is our river guide, who shows off with a backflip into these crocodile-infested waters. Well, not really infested, but we do see one lounging on the muddy bank.
They also halt when they get upset. You're in camera. Hiding camera. You're not hiding anymore. I'm gonna bring you one.
Our lunches are our best meals.
Lunch was generally the best meal of the day, often taken at a local family-run restaurant selected by Jimmy. After leading groups in Costa Rica for 22 years, he certainly knows the best places for a delicious meal featuring locally grown produce.
You can put it there and pour a little bit. Yeah, like that.
Fred and I have traveled to many countries around the world, and this is one of the very few places where it is safe to drink local tap water and eat all the food.
Oh my God.
We're exploring the town of Fortuna, which changed its name from El Bordio after the last eruption of Arenal volcano spewed lava on the other side of the mountain, sparing the town from destruction. Fortuna means good fortune. Of course, we went shopping. And of course, Willa bought the sloth. We're watching a mother howler monkey with a very young baby on her back. They are very social monkeys, congregating in small groups led by an often vocal alpha male. These raccoon-looking animals are called agouti and are actually related to the guinea pig. They are generally shy animals in the wild, but this group has been attracted to the roadside by a tourist who has thrown food out of his car window. Not a good idea. They are pretty cute, though. This orange-colored lizard is actually a green iguana. The flap hanging from its chin is called a dewlap, which helps regulate its body temperature and is used in courtships and territorial displays. In addition, it possesses a third eye on its forehead, called the parietal eye, which cannot make out details, just brightness. They can grow to 6 feet. Caimans are the smallest of the alligator species, generally reaching a length of 6 to 8 feet. Its diet consists mainly of small invertebrates. All young caimans have a diet consisting of mostly insects. However, as the caiman grows, it increases its intake of birds, fish, and reptiles. The American crocodile, however, can reach a length of up to 20 feet. They are able to replace each of their 80 teeth up to 50 times in their lifespan, which can be 70 years. Crocodiles have very good night vision and are mostly nocturnal hunters. The snake laying on our hiking trail is a viper, a very poisonous snake. There are 139 species of snakes in Costa Rica, and 22 are venomous. Another viper was found lounging on a small branch. Next to humans, leafcutter ants form the largest and most complex animal societies on Earth. In a few years, the central mound of their underground nests can grow to 100 feet across, with smaller radiating mounds extending out to a radius of 260 feet and containing 8 million individuals. They cut and process fresh vegetation to serve as the nutritional substrate for the fungus they cultivate for food. But the animal we came to photograph is the sloth, which spends almost its entire life high in the canopy. Leaves, the main food source, provide very little energy and do not digest easily. Therefore, they have large, specialized, slow-acting stomachs with multiple compartments in which bacteria breaks down the tough leaves. Sloths go to the ground to urinate and defecate about once a week, digging a hole and covering it afterwards. They go to the same spot each time and are vulnerable to predation while doing so. Sloths have an interesting relationship with moths, which live in its fur and fertilize the algae that grow there to provide nutrients for the sloth. While the sloth defecates, female moths get off and immediately lay their eggs directly on the fecal matter, on which the larvae survive until they mature. Costa Rica is considered to possess the highest density of biodiversity in any country in the world. With a landmass only the size of West Virginia, it contains 4% of the species estimated to exist on the planet.
Tree also. And this is one of the ones that is
We are in a wildlife sanctuary where we had the opportunity to see some of the larger animals that would be hard to find in the wild, like the puma, ocelot, and jaguar. And seeing a toucan up close is a real treat, since they are very difficult to photograph in the wild. Brahma cattle from India were introduced into South and Central America many years ago for dairy and meat production. So I guess a cart ride is in order. A very slow cart ride.
Ciao!
Costa Rica is a bird lover's paradise, with more than 800 species recorded. So let's take a look at some of them, starting with the stunning scarlet macaw. Costa Rica's progressive policies on environmental protection and sustainable ecotourism have been lauded as a model for other countries. And Manuel Antonio Park is a jewel in the national park system of 50 locations that occupy more than 25% of the landmass. Besides wildlife viewing, The beach here is one of the finest in the country and the main reason for our visit.
So, tell me what it is.
It's a GoPro.
And is it waterproof?
Yep.
Are you in the water with it?
Yeah.
Did you take underwater pictures?
Yeah. It's already wet though.
As soon as we got back to our table for a picnic lunch, the white capuchin monkeys that had been hidden in the trees came down to pay us a visit. They have it all worked out. While a mother with her baby catches our attention, her partner sneaks in to grab some food. Capuchins are known as the organ grinder monkey and are considered to be the smartest New World monkey. They use simple tools to access food and have been trained to assist quadriplegics as monkey helpers in a manner similar to mobility assistance dogs.
They work together.
We're on a grueling hike up to the Campesinos Reserve, a community managed by local farmers. The temperature is 85 degrees, the trail is steep, and the total distance will be more than 7 miles. No complaints so far. What a group! It's a pretty hike, and the trail is lined with running streams and waterfalls. But we are focused on reaching the top. Ugh. We all did well and are ready for our reward. A relaxing swim in the waterfall pool at the top of the rise, followed by a lunch featuring locally grown produce. Sharing these experiences with the family is a bonding experience that will last our entire lives. This is the longest suspension bridge I have ever been on, and it is pretty high up over the gorge. Only 4 people are allowed on the bridge at one time, and it shakes so much that I started to feel a little seasick by the end. Just another wonderful experience for all of us. This is the last leg of the hike. Our bus is waiting to take us back to the hotel for a late afternoon swim in the pool, accompanied by a cool margarita. We're staying at the Si Como No Hotel, which loosely translates into yes, why not? It's a lovely resort near the Pacific Ocean and a wonderful place to unwind after a rough day of hiking. The pool was our favorite hangout, providing hours of relaxing fun for all of us.
Oranges here. They're rotting on the ground. They should add more flavor to the juice.
Jimmy, our guide, took us to a local farm for lunch and a tour of their gardens, which included tasting the local produce right from the plant.
Get at home, no?
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
Geese have free range on the farm, and this vocal male turkey showed off his feathers for us and for the attractive female eyeing him. Our last stop before heading back to San Jose for our last night in Costa Rica and a farewell dinner was a butterfly farm. Costa Rica's butterfly species make up approximately 90% of all Central American butterflies, 66% of tropical butterflies, and 18% of the world's total butterfly species. Many butterflies play the important ecological role of pollinator. They feed on flower nectar, helping to cross-pollinate by dispersing pollen among the colorful blooms. Costa Rica formally declared sovereignty in 1847 and has remained among the most stable, prosperous, and progressive nations in Latin America. It permanently abolished its army in 1949 and has been cited by the United Nations as having attained a much higher level of human development than other countries at the same income level. Its rapidly developing economy, once heavily dependent on agriculture, has diversified to include sections such as finance, pharmaceuticals, and ecotourism. In 2009, it was identified as the greenest country in the world, and in 2012, it became the first country in the Americas to ban recreational hunting. And as they say here so often, pura vida.